Hello, folks. Welcome back to another pre-match interview. It's been a while since we've had one of these, so a quick shout out to our interview sponsors, Football Fun Factory, Tiverton, for their support, continuing on from last season into this season. It's fantastic to have you support us as a club and make it so that we're able to do these things and talk to Asa more often. And hopefully, as we head into 2026, we will be able to talk to Asa more often ahead of games as well. Um, Asa, welcome. How are you doing?
All good, thanks, Jake. Yeah, it's been a little while since we've, done a little catch up and addressed a few things. So yeah, it's good to have a chat and get back out there.
Absolutely. You say there that we'll have a little catch up and address a few things. We'll start off today by rather than looking forward to the weekend, we'll look back over what's been the first half of the season so far. Um, it's no avoiding it. It has been a tricky season in terms of results. Performances maybe not warranting, sorry, where we are in the table. How do you feel this first half of the season has been?
Yeah, it's been very tough, to be at the helm of it for my sort of first job as manager. As it has been tricky. There's been a lot to deal with. Steve Orchard's been great as an assistant, and we've put together. We had to firstly overhaul the whole squad, and I think that was a huge uptake in the summer. It was hard to compete at times with the local clubs. It was hard to compete with our neighbours at time, and there's a select sort of pool that you can choose from in the southwest, which I found quite challenging, quite interesting straight away. But I thought we put a group together that was young and hungry and could compete. And we started the season really well. We go to Dorchester and win away, and everyone thinks, well, we're going to be in the playoffs and this is going to be easy. But football's never ever that simple. And with a young group, it does come when you do get a few defeats. And you say, performances were great. We were really pleased with the way we were playing. We just weren't picking up points. And that was maybe, being a little bit naive, being a little bit young and not used to the level, and falling short in key areas at key moments in games. And, you know, goals change games, results change feelings in the dressing room. And you soon sort of you see the enthusiasm and all this newness that these young players have got to play at step three. And maybe it's a reality where it's more difficult than we were thought. And you go on a losing streak, and it's then hard to motivate a dressing room. And I think me and Steve have done a very good job at doing that. Training has been excellent. Everybody turns up to training, which is fantastic at that non-league level. And the attitude and the commitment to the players I cannot fault. And we go to some very tough places, and we have been pleased with performances. But there are key moments that have let us down, and hopefully, it's taken a while. It's taken this time to sort of realise where we're at. And then we're trying to build now into 2026, where we've sort of tried to lay the foundations, although from the outside looking in, doesn't look like we have. But we've tried to build from the ground up, and that has taken some time.
Excellent. You briefly touched on it, sort of the core of young, hungry talent from leagues below coming into Tiverton this season, which was probably a clear focus for you and Stevie over the summer. How do you feel that has worked out for us as we sit sort of going into 2026?
I think that's only going to build. These players have had a few months now to see the level, see where we're at, see what's required. And um, we are building. We build in a way we want to play. We've had to change the whole mentality really of the club and the group going forward. So I think it's only going to get better. These players now have had the experience. We're trying to add all the time where we can to strengthen. But it is difficult to compete. We lose players like Toby Stevens at critical moments, and that's hard to replace. But the new boys who've come in have done great, and they continue to really form a strong part of the group, and that's going to lay the foundation, and hopefully for us to go into 2026 and be not more competitive, because I think we've been competitive in games, but be a bit more streetwise of what's needed at this level.
Excellent. You talk about additions to strengthen. One addition in recent weeks, David Steele has joined the club as a first team coach. How important is it, from your point of view, to have somebody like Steely, who has been around Tiverton, knows the club well, come back in and assist on your backroom team?
Yeah, it's great. Obviously, Steely's a big name in the Southwest, and I've heard about him, and I've never worked with him, or I don't know him personally, but I knew what he'd done in the game. I knew he'd been at Tiverton. He's a bit of a legend here, and him and Steve are quite close. And then as soon as the Taunton stuff happened, where he left, and the idea got floated that we could maybe bring him in and he could support on match days and give us some fresh eyes and he knows a lot of players. He's quite key, I think, with recruitment. He already knows a lot of the squad. So for me, it was sort of as soon as it was sort of presented to me the idea, you know, I thought, yeah, let's get Steele in if we can, if he's up for it, because that's another question altogether. But we had a conversation. He came down to training and he sort of fit the group and the mould really well. And I think it was just a no-brainer really to get a little bit more help from me and Steve, a fresh pair of eyes, and obviously his experience just to give a bit of advice. And yeah, he's fitted in really well, and we're really happy to have him on board.
Excellent. We'll move on to the fixture this weekend then. Taunton Town visiting the Slee Blackwell Solicitor Stadium for the second time this season, the third time overall that we've met them. It's always a big tie, especially when it's at our home. What's the mood like in the camp as we head into this weekend?
Yeah, obviously, the camp's been boosted with the victory at the weekend. That was, hugely needed. It's been a long time coming, and that's hopefully put a bit of belief back in the squad because we are good enough to go toe to toe with anybody in this league, and we've proved that I think already twice with Taunton. Been two close games where I think we take our chances at different times, and the game's a different story altogether. But yeah, the FA Cup one I thought was at home was especially a really good game. I know it was high scoring and we ended up losing, but we were in that game totally from word go. So we'll be prepared, and yeah, everyone's looking forward to being back at home and giving Taunton a good game.
Excellent. There is obviously some more drama, if you like, added to the game. Gary Johnson has taken the helm over at Taunton Town, somebody that's played quite a key role in your playing career. How is that for the first time as a manager going up against an important figure from your career?
Yeah, it's a very strange sort of idea. I didn't see that coming 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it's a new one. I didn't think we'd face each other as managers, in dugouts like that. But he's played a key role sort of in my career. We've worked together for 7 years. We've had two promotions, lost player finals, and he's been a bit of a mentor to me on and off the field. So he's very good at what he does. I'm sure Taunton will be. They'll look probably different to when we played them last time, but we'll try and counteract that. And yeah, we'll be as prepared as we can. I'm sure it'll be an excellent game. And you add into a local rivalry, and you got a good game on our hands.
Excellent. We have obviously had quite a run with no home games recently. I think going back to October when Yate visited was the last time that we stepped out at the Slee Blackwell Solicitor Stadium. How important is it for you and the lads to be back on home turf?
It's great. We probably needed a break. The pitch was getting very heavy. The Yate game was extremely heavy to play on. So the pitch has had a lot of work now. It's looking better. I've seen some really nice photos of the pitch, and we're looking forward to getting back. It has been a long time coming. You expect maybe a couple of games to be off for weather during the winter periods, but not to miss like 7 weeks at home. So everyone's sort of chomping at the bit to get back, and I'm sure the fans are looking forward to coming back in and seeing a game at Tiverton again. So yeah, everything's setting up nicely really for Saturday.
Excellent. We do speak quite often in these interviews to sort of end it out with the importance of a home crowd at the Slee Blackwell. When it comes to a game like this, a big derby game, how much more of a level does a big home crowd make to you boys out there playing on the pitch?
It really does. I'm sure Taunton will will bring a load and they'll fill, behind the goals where they're attacking. So they'll make some noise. And I think it's important for our fans to do the same, if not more. And, they came in their numbers to Parkway and brought the drum. So hopefully that's banging on Saturday and we can give them something to cheer about as well.
Excellent. Well, Ace, that's all I have for you. I'll leave you to it for the rest of the day and the rest of the week as we run up to the Taunton fixture. Thank you very much for your time. We'll see you this weekend.
Brilliant. So we'll say, Happy New Year to all the Tiverton fans out there and hope everyone has a good day and we'll see you on Saturday.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ace.
Cheers. Thank you.